A show to be different, discussing a variety of topics in line with the people's choice. This is Assorted with Eustace on Hafak Online Radio.
Hello everyone, good evening and welcome again. This is Assorted with Eustace. I am your host. My name is Eustace Gomez. I'm your host on Assorted with Eustace, and also we are on Hafak Online Radio. Hafak Online Radio is your number one online radio in Nigeria. And Assorted with Eustace, at Assorted with Eustace, what we do is we discuss a variety of topics depending on the issues coming up at the time and any necessary topic that we feel may be important to discuss regarding our society. At our last show, our topic we discussed dealing with adulthood pressures, and we explained how that as children we have to handle peer pressure and trying to come away from our colleagues and being different from our colleagues, and that pressure even goes on to adulthood. So we considered how the pressure tends to affect people and how it generally plays out even on social media, and we gave tips and advice on how you can deal with it and handle it and not be pressured by it. If to listen to that, you could want to check Hafak Online Radio for that episode. Today we're so excited because today we'll be having a feature. We are featuring a co-host. We have a co-host today on our show today. His name is Jude Ogar. But before we introduce Jude Ogar, what will we be speaking on today? We'll be speaking on the topic for today is separate from the crowd. Separate from the crowd. And it is basically a follow-up from our topic of the last episode where we considered dealing with adulthood pressures. Yes, so if we have to deal with adulthood pressures, then it means that eventually we'd have to understand that there is a need once in a while to be separate from the crowd. I mean, these days we have people seeking to just jump the bandwagon. I mean, every direction that the public goes into is the direction that I choose to go into without really considering the logicality of the direction the public is taking. So how do we separate ourselves from the crowd? And indeed, I must confess, it really is sometimes very difficult to separate yourself from the crowd. So Jude will be sharing with us the experiences on examples in which he has been able to separate himself from the crowd and how he was able to do that. Jude, can we please meet you, Jude?
Oh, thank you so much, Eustace, for this opportunity to come on the show today. I'm really excited and looking forward to having a wonderful time.
Yes, I've really been looking forward to having this show with you, Jude. Can you introduce yourself, Jude? Can you just tell us a little about yourself?
Okay. My name is Jude Ogar. And I usually would like to say I'm a Christian first. Mm-hmm. That's my identity, and I'm a youth. I'm an educator and a youth development practitioner. I'm passionate about helping young people discover their potentials and realizing those potentials. And I do a lot. Although I have a background in engineering, but I do a lot of work with the youth and just basically helping them to find the you in them or find the real them. So basically, that's just a little about me.
Yeah. Speaking about youth, I recall we served together in Taraba State while we were doing our NYS, and I recall that you had a lot of impact on the youth. I recall you were even a coordinator back in Taraba. Do you want to speak about your experience well back there?
Well, the NYSC for me was a project, right? Whilst people were going in there for the fun, for me it was an opportunity to reach out to more people and to expand, my tentacles to the things that I was already doing. So for me, it was not just going to serve Nigeria, as most of us would say. It's Nigerian youth serving Christ. So first, my objective was to serve Jesus, and then also to impact the life of people around me. So I was sent to a school, of course, in Gembu. That was like a punishment zone for corpers.
Well,
nobody wanted to go to Gembu.
I would say so, really, because to me, Gembu was a very serene place where I would have loved to be. I mean, it was very hilly, very quiet, very forest, all that.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was very cool. We felt like abroad corpers.
Exactly.
I remember coming back to Jalingo and feeling the heat of Jalingo. I'm like, my goodness, this is you know. And but in that place, you have more people who lack direction, more young people who lack direction, and there's no way you would minister to somebody in a place that is populated with Muslims. They had more of Muslims than Christians. So the best way to really impact those people was to show them the way. And you don't show them the way by telling them the way. You show them the way by living the way. You know, so I tried as much as possible I was assigned to be a math teacher. So through my teaching of math, I made students just love the subject, you know, and such that your students could relate with you. And when you say, oh, my POP is in 4 days, they start crying. And I thought until the Tuesday of our POP week, I think, and my mom had just passed 2 days before that day, and they were like, I was teaching in the class and I received a call, and I was like, I just turned to them and I said, my mom just passed. They expected me to you know, to just collapse there, but I went on teaching. I was like, there's nothing there. My purpose right now is to impact your life. My mom has done her part and she's gone. You know, so and after that, some of my students came up to sent me messages, and they were like, oh sir, please, we are really sorry that this happened and blah blah, you know. But for me, I felt that somehow many of their lives were impacted. And then to also extend it beyond the 4 walls of the school I was assigned to, I organized the leadership and career development program for the young leaders in, I think, 5 schools came together, and we had that program sometime in July 2018. July 2018. And it was really wonderful. Looking back now, I'm grateful that I did something like that. You know, even if it is one life that was touched that day, I know that life would go on to become something. And it takes one person to cause a huge massacre, and it also takes one life to.
So really, this was not an issue of you imposing your religious beliefs on, because you spoke about you serving in a religiously diverse society. You did not have to impose any beliefs on the people around you. You just had to simply just live your life, and they watch the life you live.
Yeah. You know, basically, I've been like a shy person in talking about Jesus. I'm sorry, Jesus, but I used to be very shy. I remember a case where something that happened in university, as I'm just talking about it now, it came to me. I never preached in my class. Like, I never carried my Bible to say Jesus loves you or something. Funny enough, right? I was in another university, but I was having fellowship in another university. So the universities, there are 2 universities, the Federal University and the State University. So I was in the State University, but I was living in the Federal University. They are not too far. I was living in the hostel of the Federal University, but I was a student in the State University. And so because the Federal University's hostel was my residence, as it were, I had to participate in fellowship activities here, because when you close from school, you come back to your house, which is a fellowship, which is a campus. And then I was involved in campus fellowship in this Federal University, to the point that I even became the general secretary there, and eventually became a member of the GACCF council there in the university, while I wasn't a student, you know. But in my own school, I couldn't stand out to preach, because I felt that this place is it's infested. You know, it's infested with so much wrongs that I just felt that maybe my message will not really, it will just be falling on deaf ears. And it's not like these guys are not Christians. They go to church, so they probably have been hearing this word I'll be telling them, but they are not changing. So So somehow I was just discouraged, and so I felt that okay, let me just isolate, because even the Christians that were on campus were not acting Christian. They weren't, you being in your hostel room, because I stayed in my hostel, my school's hostel in my first year. You be in your hostel room and you see somebody who is a papa, in quotes, of a fellowship coming to his class rep, who happens to be your roommate, to sort a course, that's to pay money for a course. So I'm like, if these people that are fellowship leaders are the ones doing these things, then why would I join a fellowship on this? It didn't make sense to me, so I started like isolating myself from them.
Okay.
But of course, like I said, you don't need to hold the Bible, and you just have to live the life. And so many people came up to me and they made certain remarks that made me really know that it's not about preaching by the Bible. It's about a lifestyle.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Jude. Before we go on, we'll just take a very short break, and when we come back, we'll go deep into the topic for today, separate from the crowd. We'll be right back.
Hey there! Stay logged on to your number one award-winning online radio station, Africa Online Radio, the radio for the society.
All right, welcome back, Jude. Yes. So, while we were discussing earlier, at one of our discussions earlier, you mentioned one of your experiences while in university. You said something about sorting, how you had to deal with the monster called sorting, and on this issue of being separate from the crowd. Can you just elaborate more on how you had to deal with that and separate yourself from the crowd in that regard? But first off, maybe it might be important to let us know what sorting is, so we'd understand.
All right. Okay, so I don't know if it's alien to some people, but sorting is a term used for bribing a lecturer to pass a course.
Okay.
Most majorly by paying money, right?
Okay.
So sorting was like a norm in my own university. So like a normal thing. Everybody who comes into the school knows that they would have to sort to pass. So many people will tell you that no matter what you do, even if you read heaven and earth, you won't pass. Some lecturers will even tell you, like go to write this exam, you will not pass this course. Some will tell you that the highest you will get will be a C or a B. Like they will say A is for God, B is for them, then you can get a C. So there's some of those things like that. But we thought it wasn't real. We felt that people should be able to merit what they got. So the first year we came in, so many of us came in with that zeal, the enthusiasm of being in the university. We're all putting our foot to the pedal, and we're doing what we needed to do to come out as good students. But after our first year, it began to manifest that no matter what you write, man, no matter what you write, these people will still hold you down, because there was no authority you could report to. It was like a cabal. If you move from your lecturer and say, okay, lecturer failed me, you move to the HOD. HOD is also in the know. He's getting his own cut or stuff. You move to the dean. So it was like the whole place was set up. Now, if the school, like if my school was like the beast, right? My department was like the belly of the beast. It was that because we had boys who were already working. Now that's where the whole thing became messy. We had boys who were already working and were earning money, so they just needed a degree to get a promotion. So, and they were not always in school. So when they come to school during the exam period, they know that they missed tests, they've missed up. They just come and drop money and write what they can write. Get from other people, teamwork in the exam hall, and then just add up something and then drop their money and go off. So the thing now, it's like giving a dog something. After a while, the dog will get used to that thing. So the lecturers got used to the whole giving money part, and so it became a norm. So